So my countdown to Jigsaw continues, and this time I'm going to be reviewing the fifth installment in the Saw franchise. So with that being said, there's going to be spoilers mentioned in this review. If you have not seen the movie, I assume you have, but in case you didn't, there's going to be some spoilers in this video. So that's your warning. Now, so now that we know who's carrying on Jigsaw's legacy, we get to see how he basically became a part of like Jigsaw, like of how him and Jigsaw started working together, and it's pretty interesting too because Hoffman was basically trying to pose as Jigsaw when he avenged his sister's death by allowing her murderer to die in the opening scene. And you're thinking that's Jigsaw, but it actually wasn't. It was Hoffman doing that, and that's where Jigsaw gets a hold of him, and then from there on, he helps him, and you see that he's been helping him for quite some, for like a while, and he also helped him in Saw 2, in Saw, and like putting all the those all the characters in Saw 2 into the house, and helped them, with well, he didn't really help him in Saw 3 necessarily. I mean, he sort of was there talking to him, saying that Amanda's gonna fail, and whatever, and I mean, yeah, she did. But anywho, as that's all happening, like after the events of Saw 4, Hoffman is decorated as a hero, and basically he saves Jeff's daughter, and so they basically swept that under the rug, and then I think he was intending to kill Strom, but Strom got out of that little head trap where his head was being filled up with water, and so we were led to believe that he was gonna die in that trap, but nah. Nah, he survived that trap, and then he is hot on Hoffman's tail, like he's putting two and two together, and looking into, doing research on him, and now that he knows that Hoffman is not what he seems. He knows that he killed his sister's murderer, and now that he is doing all this, and now he's going after him himself, and then we see that like it seems like that he lost his partner Perez, like where he's sitting in her room, and then he's being taken off the case, and then he just goes rogue, and then the people who are being tested in this one, I didn't really care for. I mean, there wasn't really much of a really interesting story with them. I didn't really care that much, but when it got to the point where there was only two of them alive, and they had to put their hands, through the saw blade as it was running, so they can have the blood fill up in the jar or whatever. But other than that, it was just like, bleh. I didn't care for that. The more interesting part was Hoffman, and Strom going after him. And then when it gets to that where Strom confronts Hoffman, and then there's that glass coffin or whatever that Jigsaw was making in the fourth movie, and we see that come into play in this movie, and you hear the tape where Hoffman's saying where you can go in there and be safe, but he stops the tape, and then him and Hoffman go at it, and then he throws Hoffman in there, like, I've got you now, hoo-hoo, there's nowhere for you to go, and then he play, and then you didn't listen to the rest of the tape. What a dumbass. He's almost as dumb as Rig. And then he plays the tape again, and then he says that, well, that room becomes his tomb, basically. And then as that coffin is going into the ground, or into the floor, whatever, the walls close in on Strom, and ooh. Um, and then that's how it ends. So this movie really lacked on surprising you, like how like the Saw movies are known to do. Here they don't really have any surprises in store in this one. Not at least not to me at least. And if they did a terrible job on the execution. But I thought this was the worst Saw movie like when I first watched it. But when I rewatched it, it wasn't excuse me. It wasn't as bad as I said it was back when I first watched it. But it was still very underwhelming. I mean, I'm glad we got to see how Hoffman came to work with Jigsaw, but everything else was just sort of blah outside of Hoffman and Strom and stuff. But with that all being said, this gets two chair spins out of 5. So here we go. 1, 2 chair spins. So yep, so now I'll be on to Saw 6 in my countdown to Jigsaw. So if you guys enjoyed my review on this movie, make sure you thumb up the video, make sure you click subscribe if you're new to the channel. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, y'all.